This will trigger the Lexus RCF. So
that's big. That is a very big crash.
Oh my God, that is so fast.
Plenty of speed. He's going with Stephen Richards.
Oh, goodness me, that's a great. Oh, I know what that is. It's a little bit of the drainage on the side of the circuit. When we walked the circuit on Thursday, it lines both sides of the circuit for drainage purposes, and he's whacked that hard. That's the reason that car's pulled over, so that'll have done damage underneath the car.
How'd you see that one now?
Bit hard to know who did what to who. Here's where Greg Murphy, well, there's the reason why the thing's got an oil alarm. Everything would be alarming after that, particularly alarming in your head. That thing.
Whincup has regrouped, and it's Bryder Tander going hard at it. Big lock up again from the Dodo Racing Commodore, and Richards has given Johnson a tap. Tander goes around.
You know why that happened? When he put his foot on the brake down the other end, there was all that fluid and garbage, and together with
hairpin, it'll be quite easy to overtake, but as you can see, the cars are actually fairly even, so Morris and Glenn Seaton.
Yeah, that was on for a while. Paul was just sliding in for 100 metres or so there, and he couldn't pull it up on the inside of the road, and he's given Glenn a tap. So
I'm not 100% sure what went on as we're watching Glenn Seaton there hit the wall. He actually did clap the wall, so
quite heavily with the front right, and it looked like he did it on his own. So he just
got away quite cleanly and through this very tight opening turn, but there was mayhem.
Bit of trouble here between Paul Morris and Brad Jones, which then involved nephew Andrew. Both cars damaged and out of the race. Here it is again. Paul received a drive-through for that one in the Sirame entry. Heavy contact there between the Team VOC and the Tasman. Teammate Garth Tander both stalled on departure. That impacted the race. Speaking of impact, have a look at this one. Stephen Johnson involved with Jason Bargwanna and Will Davison. Just as I left the IPO's office, I understood that Jason was going to be given the equivalent.
Zinger replay. And James Courtney's car is centre of your screen. It's the blue and yellow car. Kelly's on the inside.
Yeah, Rick's actually saying that he's got a problem with the front right steering, but the 25 even for Garth Tander. Trouble here between Jason Bargwanna and Andrew Jones, and Marcus Marshall, who's celebrating a birthday today at all. Jason Bright's done a very fast split to the second sector. Here's more craziness. This time Will Davison the victim.
Exactly the same point at which he got done yesterday. And 39, Jack Perkins nudges right into the nose of Will Davison's car.
Whincup is still out there. Zinger replay on board Stephen Richards at turn one. Crunch into Lee Holdsworth. Out of my way.
Yeah, that was because for some reason they...
Sport cars has gone off.
Oh,
Paul Morris.
Massive impact there for Lowndes. Massive impact.
Okay,
You need to see it a few times from a few angles to make up your mind as to what happened there, but looks like a 3-into-1 doesn't go there. Here's another angle, see whether this tells more of the story. I think the two wheels just interlocked there. Oh, have a go at Whincup.
I tell you what, he
slaps the wall there.
He was super lucky to escape without much more major damage here.
And as we watch more of the chaos here, it's Kelly and Paul Morris, and it's a bit of push and shove. And between those guys at the moment, it's getting ugly. Here it is again.
Missed each other this week.
Rectify. Now here's a look at what happened.
Patrizzi trots across the front of Scaife, doesn't he? And possibly Scaife gets clipped from behind, and then Patrizzi goes into the door, and there's more drama. Paul Morris caught up with Andrew Jones.
It started a bit earlier though. There's actually a bit more to the story, so let's see what happens here. See, it happened further up the road there, but this is really a secondary situation. It's just bizarre, and this is always the situation down there at turn one, turning for 11th and 12th.
And remember, of course, that Johnson was briefly the race leader. He's really lost out on that safety car situation as Tander gets hit by Frosty. Round goes the Holden. Winterbottom is delayed, but at least he's still going, whereas Tander's got to hope everybody misses him. That's a disaster for Garth Tander. He's going to rejoin, but he's going to be right at the back.
Oops. Andrew Thompson, problem with the right rear tyre, which is flat. And pitches him off the road. There's other damage associated with that. Now, did the damage come before or after the flat? Oh, that's not a good place for that to happen on the approach to turn 1, I believe. Yeah. So 270 kilometres an hour in 6th gear with a 325 diff in the car. And it's all pulled up down there on the happens when you drive on the race line. Here's McConville down the inside of Shane Van Gisbergen. Oh, and Rick Kelly, big contact. Around goes Rick Kelly. And an awkward moment there. McConville optimistic down the inside. Not to this one. Ingle has a margin, half a second. It's less than that when they get down into the braking area. Here comes Stephen Johnson, is it? And Will Davison making contact. And Todd Kelly all mixed up. There's trouble to the right-hand side as well. We've got both HRT cars involved and Jason Bright. Disaster. This Bahrain circuit. Botlow car's a bit scarred from the trauma in the opening lap. And this is Daniel Gaunt, young Kiwi. The Lucas Dumbrell Gulf Western car. Oh, he's actually made contact with the wall.
With minimal wheel spin is very, very difficult. He did a great job of that. Jason Bright, you see all this drama here. There's Alex Davison off the road. Jason Bright around the outside. There's a heap of guys out in the painted section off turn 10. And big moment there for Paul Dumbrell. And big contact also there with Jason Bright.
To Jason Bright early in the sequence. Let's look at this overhead shot. See Bright's back about 6th or 7th. Now around goes Garth Tander. So Bright got into Tander. And then I think Todd Kelly got into the side of Jason Bright. Here it is again from the other angle.
Actually, and Bright got hit by Stephen Richards. Oh, they hit hard, wheel to wheel. They always do a lot of damage. Always hard.
Fastest lap of the race, and therefore a new lap record. And what on earth is that?
A bit of foam.
It was a bit of foam.
Yeah.
And so 57 feet.
What else could it have been?
Any one of the 400 theme parks within 1 square kilometre of here.
Down here with Alex Davo's car, I mean, the bizarre things you see happen, from the damage on the front there, boys, where the...
Adjust your brake fires rearward, brake fires rearward.
Jamie Whincup, a rare error. And watch this for Todd again. Daniel Gaunt in the Gulf Western Oil entry. Big time crunch at the top of the cork.
Jonathan Webb that gave him a little bit of hip and shoulder out wide he went. Now here's James Courtney making contact in turn 21 with Jason Bargwanna. That was the reason for the damage on the HRT car. Poor old Bargwanna in trouble, Scafey.
Yeah, and James Moffat gives him a bump. He did a really good job. He got to 16th position.
Leading up to turn 2 and 3. Wildly out of control there.
Someone spun.
That's Will Davison, I reckon.
Yeah, it is. He's turned around. Oh, it's going to be massive. That was a great...
And found himself at the front. So
look at this.
Watch this for Will Davison. So, this is so close.
Watch this. That there.
Here's where it gets tricky, up over the rise. This is where Will Davison had a spectacular off.
Alberto off the racetrack, he turns Tim Slade
that's
away.
a big crunch at the top of the hill. It's not done with yet. Garth Tander's involved. Tim Slade's involved. Todd Kelly's involved.
Now that's the left. No, he didn't make contact. He's just driven up there. That was... And then he's tagged the back of Slade. Tander's got nowhere to go into Slade. Steve Owen's gone straight to the back of Slade's car. Here he is again from the other angle.
So look for Todd Kelly's car. There's Todd. Bang. Slade. Tander. Webb. Reynolds. Gisbergen spun in the background.
Turns 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 18 and 19. Look at this. Jason Bright up on the outside of Michael Caruso. This is awkward at 17. Michael's got the line. Jonathan Webb goes with him and gives Jason Bright a tag. This could be ugly.
Oh, it is ugly. That is a big incident. Reindler hard into the back of Jason Bright, and it's on fire.
Okay.
Needs to get out.
Webby.
Under turn 17. So Webb makes the dive nowhere near far enough up the inside on Bright, turns him, and then Reindler's got nowhere to go. He also ended up with one of the Jim Beam cars into the back of him. I think it might have been Fiora.
There's contact. You can see that there. That's on board now. That was with Todd Kelly. There'll be an investigation. 5 investigations out of all of this. And there was a massive amount of drama. This fast section, Matt, the cars looked unbelievably good. And at that stage, we had the safety car, as you said, a restart. The 2 Mercedes-Benz.
Little battle groups. Jamie Whincup leads, by the way, and Bright locks it up, smacks into the front of Kelly. Been a few battles today that would have made him shake. You watch this on approach. Oh, that was Todd Kelly, and then whack. That was Chaz Mostert into the
Backstage, he looked like he was in real strife. Contact here with David Wall and Scott Pye. That was ugly.
I don't know how Scott Pye damages you'd expect to car 33. I mentioned Caruso would feature in the reel. There he goes. 360 for car 36. A bit of action in pit lane.
And there's the contact with Scott McLaughlin and Davison. So both cars actually with very similar damage, but from side to side. So here's Scott just turning in and bang. So that's the explanation for both those cars and the damage that they both incurred.
And we'll go through till 11 o'clock at night. Some wonderful music acts there as well to keep you entertained. Here's Todd Kelly, car 15.
North of Sydney, in a state called Queensland. Too often racing in Australia.
Through the chicane here, past the Shangri-La Hotel. This is Chaz Mostert. Another great start, but they learned from Craig Lowndes yesterday, who actually got a bit more wheel spin today than he did in Challenge 1.
Yeah, back the guys that were up behind him, and they were all scrambling for positions at turn 1. That gave Kelly a chance to build a lead. He very nearly went into the fence, though, at Duabellas. That was
like this, the brutal nature of it, the unforgiving nature of it. He thrives at venues like this, and we're seeing that right now. McLaughlin did a great job to get to second and chased hard. Kept loud.
And I thought that might be the shot for McLaughlin to get away from the pack, but he just wasn't able to get the laps that he needed. So they bounced over the curbs down at Monorail.
Davison seemed to turn the wick up as the race went on. Looked so strong under brakes, but just not as daring in the early part of Will Davison, who took the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 26.1. That is challenge 2.